Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a new episode of It's a Progressive World. As always, I'm joined by Sam, and you can find timestamps down below. And please like and subscribe. All right, Sam, go ahead. Give a quick overview of today's stories.
Sure. So today we're going to talk about Saudi and Iran restoring relations, Xi Jinping getting affirmed for the president for the third time, the recent controversy involving Gary Lineker and BBC, as well as some recent developments in Iran. And as always, we're going to have a little bit of fun with internal politics of the left in America, in anywhere in the world, and all that. We're using, our favorite contents from across the YouTube. But that's about it for this week.
Great stuff. Nice. I mean, man, is this like the craziest like piece of news that's ever come out? I don't know. This is just huge. I don't know. I just found it to be like, I mean, I
Oh, are we
rarely get.
jumping in?
No, this is
Are we
kind of my
jumping into
overview of
the
everything,
geopolitical?
I guess.
All right,
No, but
okay.
just this, I was just so, I mean, I couldn't think about the last time like I heard a piece of news that I found
Oh,
to
you
be
mean Xi
interesting
Jinping
or
getting affirmed
yeah,
for
yeah,
the third
100%.
time as
That's
the
the one. Yeah,
president?
yeah, actually,
And
that's what
that's
I
the
was
one you mean.
referring
Yeah,
to.
it was unbelievable. Nobody saw it coming.
No, man,
All
the
China
Iran
analysts
Saudi
were.
thing, I mean, maybe
I
like
don't
okay,
get it.
maybe it
I'm sorry, but I don't
on
get
yeah,
it. But
maybe it's
everybody's been doing your reaction.
yeah, I
But
don't know.
no, I don't. I don't
Yeah, so
have
you
this
might be the
reaction at
only
all.
one.
Yes, seems to be every again.
Yeah,
I'm not like some representative from Iran.
but
Most Iranian people have your reaction.
but I'll say two things though. Once you hear the news, like everything about it makes sense, and I heard like one or two analysts that were kind of saying the same thing. If you look at Iran and Saudi, where they've kind of gone the past 10 years and problems that they have, makes sense. And then the second point, anyway, we'll get to it, is like now what this means and what are the things that are going to follow it. That's a different story. But just the general thing, yeah, I guess you can definitely put me in that surprised camp. But yeah, I don't know how you had things lined up. What was our first story or whatnot, but I just wanted to share that.
No, no, no. It's a good one. No, no. It's I just wanted to put you. I didn't want you to get too arrogant about just going into analysis without okaying it with me first. He's just doing analysis now. I thought he's what is going
I think this is the
on?
first piece of news I watched in like 18 months. Like I was like, I
Yeah,
swear,
that's
at least it's the
probably.
first one like actively went to look for more content. A longer video showed up on Al Jazeera. I was like, oh, interesting. Can't
All
remember
right.
that. But then halfway through, I
All
was like,
right.
okay,
Let's
maybe not that interesting.
in I thought in the what do you call it? In the just keeping the audience in mind, shall we play this 28-second news story from Sky News Australia? Just
Sure.
because they might give a better overview.
Maybe put
It's
just the
28
volume
seconds.
halfway on YouTube and then yeah, perfect.
Ah, that's a good idea. So I hope news can't copyright us, can they? Is
No,
that
from what I recall, no. I mean,
okay?
maybe if we
Thank God.
replay, yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Arabia and Iran have agreed to restore diplomatic relations and reopen embassies. The two great rivals of the Middle East came to the agreement after China held talks in Beijing. The rivalry between predominantly Shia Iran and Sunni Saudi Arabia has dominated the regions in recent years. Despite promises of peace, political analysts say the deal is likely to make Washington uneasy. So,
Man, that's pretty crazy that we can't even trust ourselves to give that summary. She literally like named the parties involved, but we can't even be trusted to.
No, no, you're gonna be biased. Sam is gonna go on a rant about how the Persian Empire used to be. No, we can't trust ourselves. Yeah. So, but yes, it was quite a. I would say I was surprised, as in, like I didn't see it coming that it's gonna happen now. But everybody's sort of saying, "Oh, unprecedented event in Iran in Middle Eastern history, a first step towards peace." And by the way, the negotiations for this, I mean, it has been described as China brokered, but the negotiation for this It started 2 years ago with the former Iraqi
Yeah,
prime minister Mansour, whatever,
that's true.
when
You
he
used to
was
talk about
in charge.
that, huh? When they were having discussions in
Yes,
Iran,
our
which they
channel
were
used to
also
cover
very
that shit.
interesting. And that too used to be, yeah, quite surprising. I mean, to me at least, every time I would hear it, but yeah.
It's not really, man. I mean, I don't understand what is the surprise here.
Because
I
between
don't get
Iran and
it.
Saudi, there were really no relations for, at least quite
7
a while,
years.
beside or like hostility. Yeah.
7 years.
Doesn't go further back than
Yeah, it's no, 7 years. Yeah, embassy was open 7 years ago.
Okay,
And
but
even after
embassy is
embassy closed
really
down,
like,
even wait. Even after embassy closed down, Hajj pilgrimages happened to an
Yeah.
extent, more limited. So this, like, it's not like,
But man,
you know,
but embassies are the
America
bare
doesn't have an
minimum.
embassy in Iran for 40 years. Sorry.
Embassies are the bare minimum, So I mean, just if a country has an embassy in another
For
country doesn't
Iran,
mean
man, for
that-
Iran, no. We'll come and take your fucking embassy while you're in it. You think you
So
care about
that's why I'm also
international
saying
laws?
this is also not the craziest thing. They're like, okay, fine, like we'll open an embassy, we'll reopen our
Both,
embassy.
and
So
by the way, by the way, I would say this is interestingly, it's really the parties not involved. I would say the parties that are we can most learn from, are most affected. Let me explain. I would say this is quite a coup for China, like a marketing coup, a propaganda coup, like soft power coup. Not as important probably in Chinese. I mean, I think Chinese are trying to bring sort of a stability to the whole Road and Belt initiative. I don't know how successful it will be, but so it's a very big win for China, and it's a very big loss for Israel, in my view. But for Iran and Saudi, it's really, I don't see how it's going to affect anything, to be honest.
no,
Like
it's
economically, socially, or
economically
anyway.
it might, I don't know.
Or even geopolitically.
Economically,
like
it
Yemen
might
war.
bring a little insy bincy. Now let me see if you think, yeah. Economically, I might, I don't know, bring like a insy bincy, I don't know, some kind of like stop inflation in Iran or rise of dollar. I
Sure.
don't know, maybe.
Oh,
But yeah, Saudi,
actually,
it
sorry,
yeah.
As you can see, this article is titled "The Market Reaction to the Iranian and Saudi,"
Written
and
by
all
me.
people might remember that I talked about it, that the price of dollar like doubled, and now it's kind of like 60% of that doubling went away again in 2 days. All of this happening in 2 days.
So there's
So
that.
yeah,
And then for Saudi, it really, like, when you look back a bit, I think at their strategy now, which is like, okay, we're not going to perhaps change things radically, but let's stop giving this external image of like, a couple of problematic things that we can perhaps stop and we don't need to. And also, I feel like they're trying to, I guess, diversify their economy, even if that entire diversification part at one point becomes only like 10% of their GDP and it's still all about oil. But doing all of this and just like maximizing the different kind of places that Saudi Arabia can be. Feel now all of this, and in Iran, them probably wanting to do anything to just slow down inflation or the price of dollar going up a bit. So in that sense, I thought it makes really sense for both of them. And then one thing, the countries regionally, now there I would definitely also agree more with you. Like, Yemen is actually the only one that perhaps it could help with like a little bit of ceasing of hostility. But the analysts always kept on bringing up Lebanon as well, which I found like Lebanon. I mean, I know like the relations Iran and Saudi, are different sides, kind of Lebanon, but there's also such economical issues. It's not only like war and fighting or like predominantly war and fighting. So there I kind of found it weird that Lebanon.
Isn't there in Yemen?
Yeah, so in Yemen
is the
it's
poorest country in Middle East.
Yeah, so in Yemen there's also that, So they won't help with that, but maybe if like some of the fighting or something might that, although I don't even know to what extent it goes on
No,
anymore,
no,
really.
sure. I'm just
But
saying,
the
I feel
Lebanon
like
one I
this is
found
all
actually
wishful
the
thinking, to
yeah,
be
yeah,
honest,
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's really
frankly. I mean,
agree,
the head
agree.
of Yemeni Houthi forces came out and said this is a very positive thing. And I agree, probably it's going to reduce tensions to an
Yeah.
extent, but this is not resolving underlying Iranian
No.
Saudi,
What about
things.
climate change? That it took
Exactly,
care
like,
of on the first minute.
yes.
That was taken care of when the contract was.
No, Yemeni, like Lebanese situation, exactly like Lebanese situation or Yemeni situation or Iraqi situation. All these places are battlegrounds, and I don't see
Yeah.
anybody
So you
like
agree with
backing
my
away 1
analysis?
inch.
Are you impressed by the analysis I've brought today to the table
You
here?
brought,
I've watched
yeah.
2 DW videos and 2 Al Jazeera videos, so I'm very
I
informed.
also am from one of these countries,
Yes.
so that gives me an. No, it was fantastic. You brought in Lebanon. It was unbelievable. A third nation was brought into the table. But I would say, but this is exactly everybody said following as I had no idea it was called Abqaiq Khorais attack, or as I called it many times, the Aramco attack that happened in 2019 with the drones. And there were a number of other incidents in the Red Sea and the Persian Gulf and the Omani Sea, Indian Ocean. All these things basically made, like, Saudis are not stupid. They follow, like, American politics. They know Americans are not going to sacrifice troops to save some fucking oil field. All
Yeah.
right? They realize that now. So now they're trying to, what do you call it, diversify, as you said, their security needs.
Yeah.
And it seems, according to some reporting by New York Times, Guardian, and others, that America is trying to pressurize Israel to take its place as a security guarantor. But Israel, like Saudi and Israel, have the whole, Palestinian issue, so they can't really reconcile. Like, Saudi cannot go fully like UAE. It's not it doesn't have a population of
No, yeah.
like 5
It
people.
won't go fully
They
there
can't
for
just go
sure.
like, yes, fuck
Yeah.
the Palestinians, guys. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's do the Abraham.
But it's
So,
taking some of UAE's like economic approaches and applying it here and there. It's actually
Oh
funny
yeah,
that
yeah.
you bring this
And
up. I was watching this other video on DW
on
about
DW video.
yachts. On yachts, right? And right there in that area where that attack had happened, in the past few years,
Yes.
they've turned it into like a big yacht parking. And like, a lot of like Abramovich's yacht, I believe, was there, and a lot of them are being brought there. And I feel like, and the economic contribution of this is probably nothing compared to the oil. But yeah, just I guess diversifying for the sake of image, even, or whatever, 10%, if it all adds up, it's still 10%. And I think like 10 years ago or stuff, they wouldn't be doing things like this, like,
Oh, I'm sorry.
these kind
I
of.
didn't mean diversifying their economy. I
Okay,
don't think
okay.
they can do that.
No,
That's a
not that
dream, I think.
it is a
But
dream,
diversifying
but
their security to Chinese, to
and
Israelis,
security
to,
was
what I
part of the
mean.
thing. So in the video, they mentioned that the attack that had happened here. So like, the
I
yachts
see.
and boats were like high, security looking out for that and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean,
No,
I mean, I don't know
economic-wise,
what the oil
Saudis.
the energy sector, does it make up like 90% of their GDP now, 95, or I don't know. So yeah,
Let's check,
it
but
will
I would,
never,
but I would
it might
imagine,
lose
like many
10%,
other
but yeah, that's
countries.
it. I agree.
No, but I would add, like many other economies, including Iran, is not as bad as Saudi Arabia, but it's a spectrum and all that. But I would imagine, even when they say like it's 90% oil, it's 100% oil. Like
Yeah.
Iran, when they say it's 50% oil, they mean it's 70%.
Yeah, I mean, look, yeah.
Like with all the subsidiary industries. I mean, I don't know what, to be honest, I don't know what. Anyway, I'll look it up.
Yeah.
But what was the reaction from Iranians abroad? Have you talked to anybody? Because everybody
No.
was very positive from my social milieu. You know, everybody was, oh my God, this is unbelievable.
No, I mean the only two
You saw the
Iranians
same reaction.
that I interact with are you and my parents,
Mm.
who are both in Tehran, and I haven't
Mm.
spoken to my parents yet. And I think my sister
That's
might be
three.
one of the adult
Kind of.
Iranians
That's
out
three
there
people.
who hasn't heard of this news. So yeah, I haven't
Four,
discussed
now four people.
I haven't discussed it with her.
I see.
But I know, I
But
mean, I
see,
honestly probably found
according
out
to
about it
University of,
late. I found out about it Friday, like,
oh yeah, you did when I sent it to you.
yeah.
Yeah, you were
When did the
surprised.
news break? Friday morning?
A day before.
Thursday.
Yeah, it was late. No, I remember it broke in Iran. It was night, I think, when it broke. I think.
That would make sense.
Yeah,
China
I think
Thursday morning, they break it, and then that's in Iran. It will be the previous night, kind of.
nightish or evening. Yeah, it was. And by the way, I would add for people who are very interested in voting or electoral, let's go protest. Don't waste your fucking time protesting. I'm really I'm not being a dick. I don't want you to waste your time. Foreign policy is not like the people who make it even. This is
Oh yeah, and you
these
had the
are not
85%
elected
figure.
politicians. Where is the guy? Where is the Iranian guy? Jesus Christ. The Iranian guy, he's not even he's had the same position under this guy, under 6 different presidents. He's the head of Iranian national security. Before that, he was in the military. Famously, sons are corrupt, blah, 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 blah. These are the people who run the foreign policy, because foreign policy is not a fucking, it's not an economic activity. Let the best people come in. It's about trust. It's about security. So you have to have your cousin go do it, even if he's a dumbass. Okay, so I'm sorry, but don't waste your time.
And go back to Saudi
Sorry,
economy. That you Google what you had Googled.
85%.
Yeah,
According to
85% of the
University of
budget. Yeah.
Pennsylvania, I would imagine it's 100%. Just kind of like Iran, though. It's kind of like in Iran. Iran is slightly because of the 10 years of sanctions, not because of anything to do with Iranian ingenuity. Because of sanctions, we have become a slightly less dependent on the oil. But it's still, man, it's
I don't disagree.
I can't imagine how you would operate one day without it. So
no, of course.
you save 50%, but whatever.
So you're not going to be parking your yacht in Saudi Arabia? Is that what you're saying?
Get me a yacht, I'll park it anywhere. I'll do any in Saudi Arabia, in Caribbean, wherever. Just get me one fucking yacht. Actually, yachts, at some point, I knew somebody was considering buying them, and it's such a way, it's what you call, it's basically a money sinkhole. As it turned out through our research, because the parking, the maintenance.
No, I mean, you need to. Wow, the number. I mean, the number of people. My dad, by the way, who work on a boat.
Once a year, he gets this seasonal. So it's becomes like a werewolf or something. Sam, I found these boats. You look at them. Do you want to buy? No, Dad.
No, man. Boats, the number of people who have to work on them constantly is nuts. You have to the whole time. Now, if it's a 1-person boat, you have to go and clean it and put this on and that time every time. Anything bigger than that, I mean, a yacht, of course, crew and all this, and resale value drops, and the amount of fuel and parking, and yeah. But I mean, but billionaires own yachts, so I mean.
Yeah. No, but I would say that's the never.
You like a canoe or something.
Super rich. No, I hate it. I hate, I want to be, as you know, I love comfort, luxury, everything. I just don't like other people. And when you have so many people around, and it's the maid is there, and that's the mechanic. You know what I mean? It's just I want to have the luxury, but I don't want to have these people around. That's why I never got the whole yacht thing, that they have 6 people going around with the thing. It's so awkward. It's you have to oh, hello, so how's your day? You have to make a small talk with this guy now. Awkward
Yeah,
situation.
true.
Anyway.
But okay, going back to geopolitics, and
Oh yes.
do you want me
Sorry
to
to
break
cut
down
you.
anything else? Give me a topic. Give me a topic.
Iraqi response to this. No, I would say that everybody in the region have rejoiced, by the way. Oman, Iraq,
Hmm.
Turkey, they all were like, oh, woo.
What about Qatar? I wonder how Qatar feels about it, and the UAE. Those are more
Qatar is
interesting.
happy too.
Yeah, Qatar.
Qatar, I would imagine. Qatar is not none of these statesmen are not the illusion, like Iranians, especially like the state has this illusion of, oh, they're all like, oh, they're planning and everybody's afraid of each other. Everybody's just trying to keep what they have and stop the fighting, but they're all so corrupt that they can't do it properly. So, I would imagine let's check though. I said Qataris, I would imagine are happy.
Qatar is crying all night
Yeah,
following.
Qatari minister cuts all relations with Iran over. Jesus Christ. Express hope. Oh no, that's from you have that with world powers. That's from 1 day ago. So yeah, Qatar, Oman, Iraq welcome resumption of Iran, Saudi time. And I have to say, by the way, give it up, everybody. I don't know why I said it like that. Give it up, but everybody give it up for MBS, who I think is very badly maligned in the U.S. media for the killing of that U.S. spy Jamal Khashoggi for having him. Jesus Christ. But he's, to be honest, man, if you're gonna run a country, you run it like you can't run it with 60 fucking different princes all being paid off by a different American institution. You put them in a fucking, and again, like what he did exactly, Reza Khan, the guy in Iranian conservatives, Iranian even liberals, they love him because he's kind of like the Roosevelt of Iran. That's what he did. And Roosevelt, by the way, did
No, he's turning out to be I mean, I'm not saying good or bad, like, I'm not judging morality, but a relatively astute politician. I think that you have to kind of give it to him. Man. His moves are kind of adding up, it seems. Like, they're not in random directions. Maybe because that is the direction that things are going to. Of course, there is also that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not like a Machiavellian genius, probably. He's taking advantage of situations, but he's much smarter than his predecessors, you understand? And he's much more patriotic, whatever the fuck that means. He, like, you know what I mean? He's vacationing in Nice every week, don't get me wrong. But he's, like, at least out of his own security needs, he's trying to keep Saudi Arabia a bit more independent, it seems, from, like, any asshole who throws them like $5 that week, like,
$5 of their own dollars.
It's like, it's ridiculous. Any prince was doing their own thing, and it's and hopefully, by the way, something like that would happen to all of Arab, I would say, nations, because it's ridiculous, man. Qataris can't be 300 people living off of that gas while Omanis are dying of hunger. This is just bullshit. I mean, I'm sorry, but this is bullshit. Or Iranians, by the way, same with Iranian oil. It's like, oh, we found this gas. It's in our it's 5 meters from us, and it's just these 5 of us, not you guys. You guys are a different tribe now. You are a different tribe now. You're Oman. Go. What the fuck? Have you seen Qatar? It's like this big. It's like my street. Jesus Christ. Anyway, sorry. I'm very
this is the people in you coming out.
It's just they
standing up
for
the
their
little
own
guy.
Sake. For the Omani little guy. For
the Omani working class.
The Omani working class. There is 3 of them. Anyways, shall we go to this was very short, really, since we are on China stuff. Did you hear about this surprising development?
But this happened a week or 2 ago, though, no, right? Or
it happened a week ago.
Yeah, I remember hearing it. Yeah. And then...
Actually, no, maybe not a week ago. It says a day ago.
Oh, really? But isn't it like the first time though so he extended it to a 3rd one, right? Or like maybe the change of law was announced a few weeks ago, so maybe that's what I'm thinking.
No, they
law.
they did it. I think a couple of months ago or
Couple of
months
months,
ago.
okay.
It was
Yeah,
already
maybe.
done. This was the officially
Yeah.
like they already changed the law that he could be the president third
Mhm.
time. And when you do that law, why would
Yeah.
you change
I
the
thought that
law?
was it. I
Well,
thought that I
that was
didn't
just
know there was
random.
another step.
No, there was no. They just changed the law, but she's retiring and some new guy. No, what the fuck? Of course, he changed it so he can stay on.
Too
So, but it
funny.
was, and it signaled. I mean, many people pointed out that for the prime minister that went out, the prime minister changed. Was the liberal prime minister relative to?
Mhm.
We are talking Chinese terms.
Mhm.
Let's like not get ahead of ourselves. But so, and they were saying, oh, it shows Xi strangled any hope of
Of
blah
what?
blah blah. Like rapprochement, or they are going the wolf warrior foreign policy, blah blah blah, all that. They are taking a hard stand, and I would say I don't think Xi really made a choice. It was just he went with the flow. Like China tried to. I feel like it was other part. No, not that China was innocent, but I feel like other parties kind of pushed China to take this stance as well. Like it wasn't that like China just decided to become more aggressive foreign policy wise. It just situation evolved in a way that it benefited them. Otherwise, it seemed like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it did seem like China was going a more liberal sort of route.
Yeah.
Maybe 20 years ago.
True. And then it's interesting when, I mean, not that interesting, but also the same day, apparently, or the following day, or the same day when the Saudi-Iran deal happened, and this busy week for China. Oh no, actually, this didn't involve China, I guess.
Yeah.
The Rush
Yeah,
and
well,
the no, the
they
what's
broke
no, 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 but what I'm talking about is the Saudi Minister of Foreign Affairs, or who, someone from Saudi was, yeah.
What happened?
I forgot.
No,
I
you
forgot
said
what was
someone
it.
in
What was
Saudi?
it? I forgot what his role exact. Was it the foreign minister? Anyway, he was in Russia, and talking with the Russians. So it just
Oh,
adds
Saudis.
to,
Yeah,
again, yeah, you can
everybody's
see,
hedging their bets, man.
yeah.
Everybody's America is pulling back, and
And the
everybody's
Saudis were in
oh shit.
Ukraine apparently before that, so they're trying to broker
Sorry.
a kind of. And the Saudis were in
Oh,
Ukraine
I
before
see.
that, so they're kind of trying to apparently, bring the two to the table or something. So interesting moves.
Good. Yes, somebody's listening to Donald Trump speak. It's Mohammed bin Salman. Jesus. Oh
But
gosh.
yeah,
So
anything
this
else
is
concerning
where
the region?
I actually no. Oh, Israel is continuing to kill children and teenagers, and Palestinians are fighting back to an extent. So
Let's see.
yeah, that's I mean, I don't know. There were protests in Israel over the whole, judicial review
Yeah, I
law.
saw that. Man, I didn't. Yesterday I found out Tel Aviv is the third most expensive city in the world to live in, after
Really?
Geneva and Paris.
That's
So yeah, just
interesting.
I was
Okay.
watching a lot of DW content yesterday. Okay, it started off with this news and just slowly went.
Yeah, you gotta start. Sam, by the way, did you know the German nation was
No.
one of the most fantastic nations? Have you heard about this German also? Are you just gonna basically
No, but then I ended up on a
advertise?
CNBC video on how there hasn't been any inflation in Switzerland, and out of all the developed countries, Switzerland experienced the least amount of inflation, and inflation like peaked in November at around 2 point something percent, and now it's going to be 2.4% this year and go down to 1.9. So it wasn't just my illusion that things didn't get except gas,
More
of
expensive.
course. Yeah, except gas, and I don't feel electricity because I'm in a apartment, so I'm in a one bedroom. Like there's only
You're in a controlled lab environment for some reason. Your heat and
yeah, and that
cold is
too.
centrally
Yeah. So
organized.
if I had a
Yeah, I
house,
mean, I have
so it backed
long
my
since.
suspicions.
Yeah, no, I have long advocated for invasion and complete razing to the ground of Switzerland and all its cities. And I feel like you just justified, like they deserve it. Like all the people of the world join me now. Anyway, they don't
But
deserve
yeah.
this. This what been what you call Nazi collaborator gets. Sorry. Well, so since we are on region, I guess give the Iran updates now. You remember the group of Iranian opposition abroad?
Yes,
And
yes.
you remember Golshifte Farhani, she met with Henry Bernard Henry Levy or Levi. I still don't know. I don't know why, but since then he's dropped out of, like they've become from 8, they went to 6. 2 of them, Ali Karimi, the footballer, and her were dropped out of the final, I guess. Final, what do you call it in football? Final
Team for
final
lineup?
composition of the team.
Lineup?
Yeah, final line.
But for what? What do you
Yeah,
mean?
I don't know why, but they've recently, like they recently, like they've started, these 6 people started to give their own
this one is so scary.
Which one?
Yeah.
This one? Masih Alinejad? I mean, you are really, oh, like this one isn't? This guy isn't the same guy. He's stupid.
Oh, he's a bit concerning looking too, but in a different way. He's creepy.
Yeah, that's true.
The other 4 look good.
She looks good. She looks great, but she's fucking awful. These 2, I don't know. By the way, just my main, I forgot to make my joke. My main takeaway was, man, I need to move to Australia. Like Australian people, all like they have the most attractive, like it's unbelievable. Like every Australian actor, like male, female, transsexual, I guess. I don't know. They all look amazing. Like, have you seen Chris Hemsworth or Hemsworth brothers? They all look amazing. Anyways, so yeah, in Iran, the opposition basically abroad is doing what they are doing, which is nothing. In Iran, there was you remember we talked about the poisoning of the children and all that. They finally, they said they have arrested more than 100 people and now it's stopped. And frankly, if I like to ask, if an attack starts happening in all major cities of a country within 2-3 months, right? It starts from the most religious city in the country, like it starts from Vatican and then it spreads to all the major cities of Italy, and then within a week of the government acknowledging it's happening, it goes away like that. That was not from inside. That was not systematic, because they've done some television confessions that they've broadcast. That there is a girl with her father. She says, "Oh, we did it because we wanted to make a video to send it to BBC Persia and foreign agents." And it's like, really? Is that? I mean, it's. I'm sorry, but I don't. One member of the parliament and members of the parliament in Iran are jokes, so nobody gives a shit about what they say. But it was funny that he said that. He said that the English ambassador, the British ambassador was behind the attacks. I mean, seriously, really, the British ambassador. Anyways,
yeah.
But at least it's stopped now. Whoever was behind it. Yeah, but there have been some weird news, man. There was this report that they're showing pornographic films to children in schools under the, like, this is done by, like, Ministry of the Education did that. This was reported to happen to schools in, in very religious, like as a sort of it's apparently been shown to them as a sort of this is what happens to you type of thing. They've been showing them pornographic movies. And even members of the parliament have commented on it. So it's not like some rumor that I'm just, reading from Instagram or something. It's a really weird situation, man. It's almost like, in the US with the whole trans thing and the school curriculum. It's like, there somebody's different groups trying to politicize the school situation. It's really weird, the whole thing. It's just very odd. Why would you do that?
Alrighty, Sam. Actually, this piece of news I found to also be quite surprising and interesting, and I was shocked. But the background, I've been trying to listen to background, but I didn't. I just told myself, you'll tell me the background. Like, what
That's
this?
just
Or did you
like
want
your
me to?
your Lebanese analysis today. It is fascinating that I'm bringing the football news. Did you hear Gary Lineker? It's very odd. But were you a fan of Gary Lineker when he was a player? Did you know him when
I
he was a
didn't.
player? I think it
No,
was
no.
before us,
Yeah.
right?
And I was actually surprised to find out that I used to think that he was because he's a very successful commentator in sense of match of the day, biggest football show in the UK, and he's the main host and he's been. So I thought because of that, I thought maybe he wasn't actually like a very top level player, but he's actually a very high level player who played for the England team and everything and scored. I remember I was looking on his Wikipedia page. So yeah, he's actually a very much so. And then, but yeah, so they've let go of him because of what? And then there's been a
So well,
reaction to it.
yeah. Well, I think last time I think it was they're bringing him back, but I'm not sure. Somebody told me that. I haven't read it myself. I don't know what is wrong with my internet. Apologies for that. Anyway, he as you know he presents the Match of the Day program in the UK, which is a very popular football program among other programs. I'm sure he presents that I don't know. He tweeted he tweeted comparing the government policies regarding refugees that come to UK, comparing to the Nazi policies of the Nazi regime. Nazi policies of the not Nazi, no, policies of a Nazi regime, and I was gonna try to find the tweet itself. As you can see, my internet.
And your microphone is there, right? By the way, huh?
Yes, yes.
Oh, nice.
It should work now. Yes. Sorry. I apologize. Anyway. Maybe suspension. It's no, he's not back. I don't know.
Okay.
So the person who told me that he's been reinstated, I guess, was wrong. But yeah. And as you know, like the government is increasingly trying to reduce migrants coming to the UK, and recently Rishi Sunak announced that they're gonna fund the detention centers in France, so the migrants are
and what
held
was
in
that
France.
thing about diversification? They were saying like it was part of like BBC's diversification move to get rid of Gary Lineker. I didn't understand that part. You didn't hear that?
Who said that? No, that's bullshit. That's some
No, I read that like in
right-wing
this
nonsense.
in the same like news stories
No,
like this. I didn't know it had to do with the tweet. But then okay, and then there's been like a subsequent reaction to that.
Are you sure you're not talking about impartiality, not diversity?
Maybe I don't know.
Okay, because that's the thing. BBC does have guidelines and rules, real rules about impartiality. It's not like UK. Europe is not America. Okay, it's not freedom of. You can't just go around saying whatever you want to say, willy-nilly. So they say he broke the rules of impartiality. So there are some people, some idiots and just assholes who are like, okay, even though if it wasn't what he said was wrong, but the rules of impartiality were blah, 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 blah. BBC constantly breaks its impartiality rules. It's largely nonsensical. Although I have to say, I much prefer BBC's approach of at least trying to be impartial to whatever nonsense is going on now, that everybody's just doing their own religion, including us. So, I wish I could work for BBC. That's what I'm saying. But like impartiality, you can see, like in this interview, it's kind of explained. It's a rule that you can't it's kind of like the same rule that Queen goes by. The Queen can't take political positions. If you work for BBC, you're kind of like the king or the queen. You can't take really like hard positions on government actions,
Yeah. But yeah, and then because
by the way, the force behind the pushing the refugees into the sea to I don't know, into the deep ones, to fight in the deep ones or whatever, is Braverman. she's and if fast she's amazing. She claimed that Gary Lineker tweet comparing the governmental policy to the Nazis is offended her, is offensive to her, because her husband is Jewish. I assume that's her husband, who happens to be Jewish as well. And I just love the fact that everybody's just offended by everything. Like, even if you're remotely like connected to like,
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. And these people are complaining about what's it called, censorship, and oh, everybody's so soft and nobody wants to joke anymore. Losers. Anyway, but yeah, but he's everybody's come in support of him, including all the presenters who said they're not going to appear on the show. So BBC got basically fucked. They had to cancel most of their shows and all that. And, you know, it hasn't been good for BBC, basically. Everybody's come, pretty much. Everybody who's, you know.
No, he's like a likable guy. So I'm guessing he has a lot of, support.
Yeah, and he's.
And those people who are supporting him and not showing up, BBC now actually has competition in this area, so they'll just gonna get, you know, it's not like those people will lose their jobs. Those other broadcasters who are not showing up, they're just gonna get, you know, work for Sky or this ITV or something. I mean, so yeah, that's the thing. So they're.
I was thinking, what the fuck were you thinking? Yeah. Like LBC, Sky, ITV, like they have. Netflix, I forgot. Do you remember Jeremy Clarkson? Like, are you guys stupid? I mean, the BBC is in a really bad position, man. Tories trying to destroy it from inside, and everybody else trying to destroy it from outside. So it's
and I already feel like I saw before Match of the Day was like 2 days on BBC. Now I think it's just 1 day on BBC, or maybe if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, really?
But yeah, maybe I'm talking rubbish.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are some people who are against him, but it seemed that I was gonna ask you this: do you know if football fans, you're in touch with the football people who watch the game? They sit down and I don't know what you do, whatever you do when you watch the football thing you do. So what is
I haven't heard
the reaction of the people on the streets? What have the people on the
streets? I might know more. I might get some more reaction today, because so this YouTube channel that I watch is an Arsenal channel. So I'm surprised I haven't come across. I'm surprised they haven't covered this or come up with a video. So maybe after the coverage of the Arsenal
game today. Maybe because he used to play for Tottenham, so Arsenal people are against him. They want him to play. I don't think so,
but. Actually, his show would be tonight though too, right? So I mean, there's more news to come, right? A Match of the Day 2 happens Sunday nights around 10 p.m. UK time. So,
all right, maybe we should have done this at the beginning, but let me just read this from 1 hour ago. This is a sort of a Guardian sort of a summary of the coverage. The BBC has been forced to severely reduce the second day of its sports programming amid a deepening row over the suspension of Gary Lineker. The corporation said Match of the Day 2 and coverage of the Women's Super League match between Manchester United and Chelsea would be much reduced on Sunday.
Reduced.
Why are they being reduced? It's unfair. But
they're like, okay. So we're not gonna broadcast any more female games. What? It's just canceling everything.
Repeats of 1966 World Cup. We're just playing that. What?
They're like, he didn't even work in that area. Still, like none of the people who are boycotting are part of that broadcast.
We are ITV. We are not even BBC. No, but it's cancelled. Come on. Well, I assume actually I assume hosts of the female sports programming have probably walked off, so maybe are being funny, but probably was due to that. But
but I don't understand how they can't really cover, like they've had notice for 2 days. I don't know how they can't like come up with some other people to do like Match of the Day. It's just 2 or 3 guys who watch the football game and then they commentate. But maybe nobody will agree to take that gig that is
because
high enough right now. So that would be
that's
crazy. Yeah.
yeah, but who? Because first there is no. Do you remember this guy, by the way?
Yeah, of course. Iranian
Yeah,
football commentator.
he's basically sort of Gary Lineker, kind of, because he's mainly famous for an equivalent of Match of the Day, but he's commentator.
I mean, in a way,
only. He
he's
was
bigger
never...
because there are only a few in
he's
Iran,
bigger.
and he was both commentator and analyst, which you don't see too much. Like Gary Lineker is not a commentator; he's actually a TV host of people who do analysis.
Oh,
but
he's
he
not
was
an analyst.
he was a play-by-play commentator, as well as
Well,
an analyst and a show host. I mean, he did everything.
In a very similar role, he was kicked off the most popular program in Iranian television history. 90 is the name of the program.
Yeah. 90
he
minutes.
Kicked off that, and you know, half of the people in the production walked off with him, and most people obviously said that it's bullshit. But unlike BBC, Iranian television basically went found 5 guys. They brought them in, and it's like nobody's like 5 people watching the what used to be the most popular program on television, which is about football, the most popular thing ever, you know. And it's like now 2 people, because it's just some assholes that, and everybody hates them. Like they've become tainted with this. They are and I don't know. They might have been just some like random idiots. They might not have been government agents or something, but now everybody's like, they're government agents. They stole Ferdowsipur's job, my dear. And it's like you can't do that. I don't understand who's running the BBC. It feels like they've imported some people from Islamic Republic. It feels like they brought in some managers. Let's bring in some Iranian managers.
And got some advice from Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. Elon Musk, Khamenei, they both have fantastic HRs, you know, famous for amazing HR department. What the hell are you doing, BBC? Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous.
Fun world.
I mean, not poor guy. But I did see a picture of him watching a match, and in the stadium, the fans were holding signs like, you know, we support you, blah, blah, blah. But that could be just some fucking liberals just because they are.
No, I'm sure I'm sure I'm there.
No, they never watched a football match, but they bought some tickets for this one just to come to say, Gary Lineker.
No, even liberals wouldn't do that, because just getting a ticket costs like a few £100 like that last minute. So it'll be an expensive protest. Okay, I need £1,000.
I thought it would be.
Yeah, even more. Depends on the team. Depends where you're sitting, but yeah, you're right. If they're on the side, yeah, maybe 500 suddenly last minute. I'm thinking, I'm not like maybe like some medium team. I don't know where you saw this, but yeah, mid-table team.
Tottenham.
But you know,
he used to play for Tottenham, but he was watching Leicester, so I don't know. I don't know.
Leicester played Chelsea. I forgot.
Yes, he was. I think that's whatever.
But yeah, that would be an expensive protest. No, I'm sure out of the 50,000 people who attend that game, some easily overlap with that liberal group. They were just.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was weird because footballers famously are a bit more on the conservative side in the UK. I'm not famous.
Well, I mean, you know, it's been over a year now. It's been over a year and a half now that before every single football game, the players kneel, right? And a minute of silence.
Why?
All the way back from Black Lives Matter protest, that still continues.
Oh, really?
So things like this, you know, there's a lot in it. Yeah.
Really?
I swear.
Oh, come on. European footballers, what did they do? What the fuck is going on?
So like no, exactly,
in
solidarity.
Football matches, in English football matches.
Yeah, as part of the solidarity thing. Yeah, in general.
As part of solidarity. Give some money, motherfuckers. Solidarity. I hate this fucking phony action.
I'm just describing it.
Football.
No, but I mean, it's not like it's not their decision, of course. It was the league's decision. Of course, I'm sure a lot of them.
It was the
I agree.
decision to have to
Yeah, of
express
course.
political allegiance to Black Lives Matter? What the fuck is
Or like
going
no
on
racism,
in
you know?
UK?
No, but no racism. They
Okay, no
overlap,
racism is
but
the
they
important.
overlap.
Okay,
It
all right,
started from
great.
then. And the kneeling anyway came
Yeah, sure.
from that football player who he's the one who
No, but do
started
it
it
for
in the
something to do
US.
with your own fucking country, not with, it's like when
Yeah, I mean, of
Europeans
course, racism.
stand
No,
up,
but it's
we
about
stand with the
racism.
Iranian women.
But it is about,
Fuck off.
they do think that it's about their own country, of course, because it's about the racism
Okay,
thing.
sure.
It's all
Okay,
together.
no
Yeah.
racism. I don't. Okay, I need to look into this. Your information is very dodgy.
I can't
and
believe you didn't know
I-
this.
this is ridiculous. It's like, I don't know, in Switzerland they're like kneeling because
But then,
in, I don't know, in South Africa somebody shot somebody. What is
yeah,
like,
but you
what
can
is-
see how there's a connection, or maybe you're just on purpose trying not
No,
to
I
see it, but
no see
because
here
of the
I was
racism,
really
like I
surprised.
explained like 10 times. I mean, you can look
No,
it up,
okay, now no, you
Google
said
it
it's
quickly,
no
but
no,
it's
but
all
you said
linked.
Black Lives Matter. So
But it's all
kneeling, what should
linked.
I
Like
do?
in
Like
one way,
kneeling?
it's linked. Now I'm not passing judgment on that, but I'm saying, Premier League. No, it's yeah.
No, but it's not. I know it's like saying, okay, yes, capitalism, all, you know, all the bad things in the world are
Yeah.
linked in a way, but it's like, what's taking?
So I think, I think officially the campaign is a
What's taking
no
him again?
racism.
Why is it more than? Oh Jesus! Oh God! Anyways, I mean, I don't like phony, to be honest. I never liked singing national anthems. I never sang the national anthem.
Yeah,
I
I
never
agree with you.
read out the prayer. I find these phony things for people far, far away that you never have to actually help to be bullshit and worse than doing like, I rather just play football than kneel because of some, because
Yeah, I
you
would
know it's
agree.
not really
Yeah,
true-hearted
sure,
as well.
of course.
No,
I mean,
it's just I
nobody ever
was
said it
surprised
is.
in the UK. No, it's just, yeah, no, it's,
I mean, I don't know why you're
yeah.
surprised in the UK. There's a big movement in that sense that's
Crazy.
quite mainstream
Yes,
about racism, because there are so many black players, so they even promote it further in the league. So I mean,
good.
I guess you're
Great,
surprised
no,
because you're
that's
out of touch, I guess, with UK football and where
football.
it's at. You're the image in your head is like the '95 era, like hooligans and stuff.
No,
This is
I
the
sure.
No, I mean that of course is still going on, but you know,
Then I
some
suspect
of it.
the image I have in my head is far more accurate than the image portrayed by a bunch of
I mean, on TV at
rich
least.
kids. Yeah, anyway, but it's just very shocking. Sorry, I'm
Look,
very
it's a
shocked by
symbolic
that.
gesture against racism, just a second link, in non-context such as the Black Lives Matter protest movement.
Okay, I mean, okay, that's
So it's just
happened so fast,
connected,
I
you know.
guess.
I mean, now
It
I don't know.
happened
I
so
don't want to
fast, I
get into
missed it.
explaining to you how
Yeah,
social
fair enough.
movements are constructed, but we could save that for another day.
I guess the whole woman. I think we talked about this woman freedom life, whatever, I forget the slogan. That I think I told you about this, that it was originally like I think it was a Kurdish feminist slogan. Oh, sorry, Turkish feminist slogan. Then it becomes a Kurdish sort of freedom slogan. Then it things change. I don't know. I was just surprised. That's all. Let's go to, just since we are in the UK, let's go to the part of UK I'm interested in. Royalty. All right. So you sent me this actually last week, and
Yeah.
but sadly I forgot to put. I did put it in lineup, but for some reason I missed to. I
No
forgot to
worries.
click on it.
I mean,
But
based
you
on my
want to tell people what
understanding,
happened?
based on my understanding of reading that article, is that Harry and Meghan were actually gonna go on Aaron Maté's dad, and what's his name?
Gabor Maté.
Gabor Maté's podcast. He has a podcast, so they were gonna go on his podcast, or Gabor Maté right there, and talk about, I don't know, probably some psychological stuff, right? I guess that's what he would talk about. I don't
Personal
know.
trauma. I
Yeah.
assume.
And then so
By the
this
way,
person
he
came.
did do
Oh
that.
yeah, he did go.
Like
Yeah.
yeah. So I
So
mean,
ahead of that happening, I guess, you know, some people came out and they were like, oh, they're going on like an anti-Semites channel, on an anti-Semite platform, saying that Gabor Maté is anti-Semite because for supporting Palestinian rights and all this. So, and TMZ just covered it in that sense, and I guess Aaron Matt is also criticizing TMZ's coverage here. But yeah, that's what I guess happened. And Aaron Matt is like, you should at least inform your audience that he's a Jewish survivor of the Nazi Holocaust. So
it is truly sad, the state of affair, that I don't even, because it happened in TMZ, because it didn't happen in Washington Post. I don't think these assholes were like even trying to, like nobody does due diligence anymore. It's enough for one website to say like this guy is an anti-Semite or something, and it's somebody who everybody, like anybody, like in every other interview he does, he mentions the fact that he did in a very like harsh circumstance survived the whole fucking Holocaust, and it's like, whatever, like I don't know.
That's good. Yeah.
It's just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like at this point.
Right.
And then people say, oh, forcing people into labor camps, Sam, it's a very bad idea. What do you do with people at TMZ? What do you do with them? What is the best way to do this?
Don't hate on TMZ too much. Sometimes they do some entertaining reporting.
Let's not forget about how they helped Johnny Depp.
I'll never forget what they did.
Start talking about the good times, yes. Anyways, but I would say Prince Harry needs to fucking stop. Just go crawl into a hole, you embarrassment. Did you see? I loved. I saw the meme. I haven't seen the episode, but South Park had
I heard what I've
about
seen clips.
Worldwide tour of piracy. It's like fuck up, privacy. Sorry, worldwide tour.
Yeah,
it's like everybody's like that. Everybody's like, I just want my own space. That's why I'm online telling everybody how I feel. Go shut the camera down. Go crawl into your bathroom and cry like everybody, like normal people.
Too
losers.
Funny. Yeah, too funny.
I just wish media could leave us alone. I just wish media could leave me and my wife alone. Please, after giving us some book deals, of course, but leave us alone.
Too funny.
Anyways, I hate him so much. Man, I must say though, I was thinking the other day, I live in like the best of times for myself right now. It's like the best in many ways. Like since the hijab thing has gone in Tehran, you go to Tajrish or you go to like stuff, it looks like you're living like a Star Wars. Like it's everywhere because of shawls and Iranians. There is somebody like there is always like people with Pakistani, Afghanistani type clothing. It's like, and then there is hipster young people with like blue hair, and it's amazing. It's really
and then there's you
and then there's me like the cranky old. But then there is at the same time, after years, I forgot about this. How many years I've been waiting? King Charles. I keep saying like Queen. We are living in King Charles's era. I've been waiting for this for so long. It's the best of times. I mean, if Boris was in power, I would have been much happier. But you can't have it all. I
see. Interesting.
Yes. No, don't you agree? Don't you feel there is, since King Charles has come to power, like,
things have changed?
Things have changed. Saudi and Iran are making relations. It's all because of King Charles's presence. I swear to King Charles's presence, his graces. It's just something about him, man. I just love him so much. Anyways,
that's hilarious.
From King Charles to this whimpering fool.
What is this?
Joe Biden. Sorry, I just saw him. This was did you see this? The fantasy prequels and then afterward. This goes to my long-term theory about I think you can see it how like increasingly, hopefully, Romanticism is becoming abandoned in the culture that comes out of the West, whatever that is. Okay, and it talks about how increasingly end of the world and apocalypse is being portrayed in a different way in fantasy and all that. And I thought it was a very good take.
Interesting.
Yeah, and like this. Yeah, I really need to work this into some kind of a fucking paper because it's really good idea. I think.
But the
I think I have a very good idea. Like like with Game of Thrones, you see the same elements that you see in Shahnameh, which is from 1,000 years ago in Iran. Like major, like although you could say there is a lot of like French literature that does have similar things, not so much in Wolf Hall in English too. But this is very, it's a very, it's just that's you whenever you want to create a literally narrative,
yeah.
you kind of, it feels like you're lying because you have to basically eliminate some stories to make it become a narrative. So I don't know. Anyway, but do you feel like fantasy or science fiction, these two genres, have become better? I mean, you haven't seen Game of Thrones
Yeah,
yet, so
that's
you
the
can't
thing. I
really
haven't seen
comment.
any of these shows, kind of, so I have actually no idea. I just, as much as I want to argue back, I know
You need to know
Wisecrack
Game of
ridiculous.
Thrones season 1 or House of Dragon. They are like, it's like watching, what's it called? It's like watching House of Cards. You didn't watch that too, did you?
No.
No. I mean, that House of Cards was not as good as Game of Thrones, to be honest, in its politics even. I'm trying to think, like, what TV? Barry. Like, imagine it's kind of like
Mm,
Barry, not as funny as Barry, but as serious in
yeah,
the serious parts,
might be pushing
about the
it.
gang stuff.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. So that's funny. It's just not a Barry season 4 is coming out, by the
Yeah, I
way.
can't wait. That
Trailer
should be
just came out.
great. Oh, nice.
Oh,
Season 3 was amazing. But yeah, no,
anyways,
I've watched the new Formula One season on Netflix. So good.
Formula One, as
Yeah,
in
Formula
the
One has a
racing.
show. Yeah, it has a show on Netflix. It's just the best, the only and beyond best sports documentary series, kind of. I mean, they make it so dramatic. It's insane. I don't know. It's
What's
amazing.
it's about the cars or the people, like the drivers or the
Each
brands. I don't.
yeah, each so there are 10 episodes per season and there are 10 teams with 2 drivers. So each episode is on one team and it kind of like turns it as much as it can into a dramatic thing. So, going from like one race when they're losing and then, and now towards this end of the season they get better. And then they have all the teams there, so they kind of talk about it. I don't know. I don't know how they pull it off. I've never seen something so this entertaining and this well done in this area.
No, but okay,
Usually
you
they're
didn't
so
help
boring.
at all in clarifying what is the show about, though. Like,
It's about
what is
Formula
it?
One, yeah, and the
No,
the
I know, but
teams and
is
the
each
drivers. Each episode is
okay.
on a team.
And right, is it episodic then? It's
Yeah,
not, doesn't have a
10
whole
episodes
arc.
per season.
Okay. And it's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, exactly. It doesn't have a full arc in that. I mean, yeah, it doesn't have full arc in that sense. That's true.
No, it's I
Mhm.
got a grasp. I thought maybe it's more about engines, but I guess this is more like a team thing. But
Yeah.
yeah,
But this
okay.
video,
I really don't know what to say at this point.
but this video by Wisecrack, where did all the smart people go? I agree a little bit with the contemporary analysis, which is, now maybe the type of, content
I
that
guess.
philosophers want to introduce and all this. Maybe it's more on the entertainment side, but then they romanticize the past so much again. Oh, back in the day,
Yeah, exactly.
Socrates was going there questioning. Exactly, only Socrates, and then they killed him.
First of all,
So I mean, I find that to be a bad
let's not get me
example.
started on
But
fucking
then,
asshole going
so
around.
I
What
just
is
thought the
the
video
meaning of what do you
romanticized the
mean?
past too much. Where did all the smart people go? So
Yeah,
yeah.
it's no, it's beyond romanticizing. Like, I completely agree. It's
Really
just
picking, like,
romanticizing past, and it's not understanding how past works. Like,
mm,
like, do you know how many fucking shitty spaghetti western movies were made in 1970s? Many. Do you remember all of them? No, but you remember the good, the bad, and the ugly. It doesn't mean Western movies were better then than they are now. It means the good. You remember the good movies. It's just like,
yeah.
and frankly, by the way, there was like 5 pieces of writing being written. Out of that 5, one of them being copied every 100 years. What you thought they're gonna? I mean, God, by the way, God
And
knows how
making
many
it
good
seem
pieces of
like
writing.
back then they were so accepted, like, oh, people would just
Oh
no,
yeah,
like
so
now we
let's not.
look back and yeah, like Descartes or like blah blah blah, people like him, but I'm pretty sure most of them during their time they were they were
You remember
hated
what
by
happened to
people in power.
Spinoza? Spinoza is still, to this day, is still not accepted by the Jewish community. They're still trying to say, come on, man, let it go. The Jewish Chacham is like, no, I can't do this. I can't let go. Like, yeah, oh my
So,
God. It's
yeah.
just, it's,
And really just picking, just
it's,
really
to be honest,
hand-picking some,
man,
you
it's
know,
really
cherry picking. There was a lot of cherry picking of the past going on in this video, I thought.
cherry picking. It's complaining about why, and I do that too, but it's complaining about why stupid things are popular. Because they've always been popular,
Yeah.
because they're easy to digest. Why is Avatar popular? Why is Harry Potter popular? Because they're fucking stupid and easy to digest. Of course, something that is complex and hard is not like, oh, James Lindsay's like, what do you expect? Like, you know, Plato. Why is Plato popular?
Yeah. And then one thing though in this video
Anyway.
though, they give this example of this
Plato was
university
a smart.
because they're also talking about how, you know, philosophy departments are being slashed and all this, which there are some truths to that because nobody studies philosophy and now social
Good.
sciences have taken over. But then they give this example of this one university that this university is getting rid of its philosophy, social sciences, English, math. I'm not joking, math.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
No, that's
this must be an
all.
outlier. So
Thank
the
you.
university is closing down, right? I mean, is that what's
Yeah,
happening? Like, what's left?
By the way, thank you for mentioning that, because that was such a unjust, like, is English literature and math, like, I'm sorry, math is far more useful than English literature. Like, I can see English literature being phased out easily and nothing changing, you know, across the country, but or Persian literature, whatever, but
and I doubt that's
math?
happening other places. Yeah, like they're not
Oh
going,
man,
no one's going after math. Yeah, there are, of
no one's
course,
going after math. No,
of course,
math is
social sciences and stuff are like, you know,
yeah,
they're like,
I'm
okay, as
sorry,
long
but
as you guys break
frankly,
even, I'll let you
yeah,
have a
I
department.
mean,
But make sure you break even at the very least. You see these guys?
if you
With
don't,
their money, we make new buildings every day. You guys just break even and pay for your own coffee, and you can have that space at the back of the campus. Yeah.
look, there is a bit of patio area. You can go sit there. You don't get to use the heater, okay? You don't get to use it.
And all your classes are in the evening.
And frankly, I'm sorry, but at this point in history, this is not 100 years ago. We are not living in a period before there was 100 years of public education. At this point, the people who've graduated from social sciences and philosophies, and including myself and all that, the impetus is on them to prove their value. They haven't proved their value at all. These fucking philosophers, what did they do? They just got into rooms and talked to each other instead of going and doing something. You know,
to an extent,
like Karl Marx. I mean, I'm not necessarily a Marxist or not a big fan of Marx even, but Karl Marx was wanted in like 3 different states. He wasn't like, you know, he wasn't making, you know, safe comments. So stop complaining about, like, we clearly prove ourselves to be useless. Okay, it's very good that they're shutting down philosophy departments, in my view. Philosophy, especially. Philosophy is mother of all, probably, like, evil in this world. So
yeah, I wouldn't go that far. But yeah, and I mean, some social sciences are thriving in some areas. So of course it's not like that anyway. I mean, a lot of schools have social science programs and people attend them enough for them to continue and offering them. So it's still going on. But yeah,
I would say it's mostly a scam, but so like it's mostly a hobby or a scam social sciences thing. It's or academic career. It's not for a job market, of course.
Yeah, no, then you have to alter it for the job.
We are talking
really
about, like,
no, you have to couple it with another kind of skill,
with a trade,
with a
trade,
kind of skill,
you know, something you can actually do, like a mechanic, not just, you know, having views about the world. Like, oh, there is a cave, there are shadows, we can't
no, I
see
mean,
the
you can
real
find
thing.
jobs. You just have to, you know, then know how to break down data on the side or do something else, and then you get a job in a think tank or something like that.
I would say those, I mean, it's just those jobs are so few that I'm just saying it's fair to say that for most
they
people,
exist in different varieties, though. No, I mean, people who study social sciences, a lot of them in the Western countries, they find something, some government job or, you know, something is.
Not
Then
related to their thing. No, they
slightly,
don't do
'cause-
research or that type of thing.
Yeah, you don't do
Academic thing.
research. Yeah, no, I was
They
talking
do
about
like,
that they
yeah, they
find
work in a
jobs.
secretary job
Yeah,
or
they
something.
find jobs. Yeah.
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 Oh no, I meant a
Yeah.
job for that profession. That's what
But
we are
what is a
talking about,
job for that
the-
profession? You know, I guess it would just be to become like if you study
more
sociologist,
writers,
just to
more
become
columnists on Washington
sociologist.
Post and New York Times, but more assholes running their mouth like us, basically. And it's good, run your mouth, but have a job on the side. Have a real job on the side. Just don't just be the person who runs your mouth. Like,
But yeah,
that's it.
so this video I thought just a
Anyway.
bit romanticized the past too much. And
Oh wait.
oh my god, the clips that
Oh,
I've
did you see
seen
this? We
from
can
this
play this.
Chris Rock thing have been hilarious. Did you hear Bree's take?
Yes, that's why we can play
yeah.
this if you want.
Yeah, play a
Or
bit.
should I?
Play a bit, yeah.
Comedian Chris Rock has clapped back at this slap heard around the world in his new stand-up Netflix special.
Oh, sorry.
called
We
Select.
probably can't. The Hill probably paid the copyright thing to them. The Hill has money. All right, so let's not play the bits where he actually does this stand-up. But yes, I did hear Bree's take, which I think comes around here.
Okay. Anyway, we don't need...
Ben Collins said, got 14 minutes into the Chris Rock special before my subconscious took over, said, okay, that's enough, out loud, and turned my whole TV off. Pure animal instinct defending against hearing the same joke for the 8,000th time. My soul was dying and took control of my physical self. He added, truly shocking, and I didn't have high hopes. That's harsh.
Anyway, I can summarize Bree's
You saw a little bit of that setup.
Okay.
Because she talks about 0.7 minutes. But before we get there, man, the two clips that I've seen from this Chris Rock special are hilarious. This one about the slapping and the other one about Meghan Markle experiencing racism. They're amazing.
I've only seen
Where
the
can you
slapping
watch
clip.
this?
I couldn't download it.
Where can you watch this
Oh,
special? Is it
I'll check right now for you. I can watch it. I'm outside of copyright zone area. Out of Schengen and copyright
no, but
zone area,
sometimes
so.
I even have access to these things, but I don't even. So before I do that, there's a good chance like my wife has the subscription, but maybe it's
Netflix.
Oh, Netflix. Yeah, I believe I've heard of that platform. Oh, but coming to Netflix. Yes. Okay, it hasn't arrived. Oh,
no, it has. It's that's the advert thing.
Oh, no way.
From one day
oh shit! So I might check it out today, man. Yeah, those two clips are pretty funny. And but Bree's take...
I mean, Chris Rock is one of the best.
But Bree's take is that, you know, her and her friends, you know, they were talking about it after, and they thought that, you know, Chris Rock should have not, you know, made a joke about, you know, about the fact and that he was...
I mean, man,
he should have apologized more this way. I was actually surprised that she got it, and everybody in the comment section were also
she actually misrepresented. Like, she doesn't remember or she doesn't know what happened, because what happened wasn't that he made the joke, everybody laughed, including Will Smith, except Jada Smith. He didn't continue with the joke, as she puts it in this video. And he just, the situation sort of evolved, as everybody knows. So he didn't continue with the joke. So she says that, you know, he misrepresents what happened. Actually, he, you know, he wasn't like, you know, that and stuff. And
I just found it to be just an overly woke, so to speak, analysis of the I was like, okay, it's just a piece of comedy too, right? Like, like, come on.
I mean, it's beyond
like, it has
belief.
to be funny. Look at people's comments. Let's go. When people agree with me in the
by
comment
the way,
section, I like to read it.
Alopecia is not a, like, if we can't make fun of people for having alopecia, then we can make fun of any bald man. All the bald men in
but man,
pattern baldness is alopecia too.
The stuff that he says about Will Smith and his wife are just brutal in the actual stand-up comedy. And then how, like, she goes and, like, you know, talks to Will Smith about it in a TV interview. It's just hilarious.
Oh, really? I only saw like 1 minute, the 1 minute they play here. I want to download the thing to.
Yeah, no, it's brutal. It's brutal. She's like, you know, he's like, and you know, he was embarrassed, right? Because she slept with their son's friend, or she had, like, you know, he goes into it. It's hilarious.
Oh, he goes into the details.
Not into the details,
look,
but like he mentions
mention it.
everything there is, yeah. But anyway, people in the comment section were like, "What the hell, Brie? What is this?" and all that. So don't worry about it. Alrighty, Sam. Looked like I screwed up your internet, but now we're back and we have the comments. So
Of
let's
course.
just look at the comments for, I don't know, just to justify what I say. But
Shocking,
maybe,
don't take
yeah,
fun.
maybe they often
Man,
say these things about Brie. So then again,
yeah, that's.
but
I
every
mean,
single
comment
one of
section.
them is like saying, you know, what the hell, Brie? What kind of take was that? So why is Bree attacking the victim? Kind of impressed by Bree's level. Why is it?
The only thing I would be fair to her, maybe she misremembers, because the way she remembered it, if
No,
like
but
I remembered it that way, maybe I would have said something like that. But then again, you know,
no,
she's just. But what pisses
I don't
people off,
even.
I think, is that, like, can you imagine, like, if somebody looked the wrong way at a trans person in a ceremony, she would be up in arms, up in arms about, oh, this was in this context, it was really harmful the way they looked at that person that way. And somebody assaults somebody in public and they're like, well, he made a joke.
No, but I don't even sure. Maybe because one of her points is that he doesn't mention the whole bald thing, you know, her disease and all that in the comedy, right? So she's like, you know, he's leaving that out. So even if you were to agree with her or with her, like, you know, her how she sees the events went and you know how you should be talking about them, I just find that it's just an over analyzing piece of stand-up comedy in a way, and like a bit of a unfair,
Sure,
this way, meaningless
yeah,
kind.
that's
That's more I
100%.
would even say. Yeah, that would be
I
actually
also
more
would
my
say
thing.
it's another indication of how medicalizing everything poisons everything, like discourse, I don't know, culture, whatever the fuck this is, because and I've been beneficiary of medicalization. My stupidity had been described as dyslexia, so I got extra time in my exams and stuff. Alopecia is not really like she's suffering from alopecia. She's suffering from it's not a fucking. It doesn't have like her leg cut off. She's suffering from alopecia.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
I mean,
but calm the fuck down, everybody.
And
Suffering from this, suffering from depression, suffering from anxiety.
Yeah, I'm sure it's
Most
not
people
the
used to call that
greatest thing.
living.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not the greatest thing to be, losing your hair like that. But
It's
I
the
mean,
worst. It's the worst. If I lose my hair, there's a good chance I'll take my own life.
But
let me be clear about this.
Yeah,
it's
but
the
Jesus,
worst.
even his joke was, I mean, like, so what? And he says he didn't even know that she had that disease. He just thought, she cut her hair because she looks cool or something.
Or roll or something.
Yeah.
I mean, the joke is G.I. Jane, which is like the sex symbol from anyway, whatever.
Let's move on to Varn.
Yeah, did you see some of the? I sent you like 3-4 different Varn looks, I think.
And I saw a lot of this one. Yeah.
So this was probably the most informative one.
Yeah, this one was crazy.
I can't explain what is this. Like, they talk too many topics of interest comes up, and they are way too. Let's talk about I think the class thing that they talk about is the part I sent you. Is a gateway to just the general things we can talk about. With the volume. Oh, let me
a bit higher, maybe just a bit higher, but yeah.
Okay, sure.
Yeah,
just was checking if the sound is shared.
He's not a professor. He is sometimes.
Just go a bit further back.
Yeah.
Oh,
Doc. I mean, like Mark. If you read like all the biographies, I always talk about Marxist carbuncles, and I have a friend who shames me about that. It's like, that's not important. I'm like, but it kind of is actually, like, to think about how this person is producing while they aren't what their limits are. Because you ask people what social class is Marx in, and it is not clear at all, because he's also not bourgeois. He's not management to bourgeois like Engels. He's not a professor. He is sometimes a journalist, but not consistently. Sometimes he's basically the research aide subsidized by Engels, who keeps Marx's family in a house and Marx drunk.
That's right. I mean, it's basically it's a form of blackmail, right? And a form of bona fides to try to get credentials for yourself that are pseudo credentials. Well, I would know. I mean, I've experienced this in the past too. I mean, for example, I'll encounter colleagues that don't share my Marxist commitments, and they will. One of the obvious objections is, well, I came from a genuinely working class background, whereas you didn't, which is why, I'm some form of reformist and you're a revolutionary socialist. My revolutionary socialism is an expression of my economic position, however we're defining that. So there's another way in which
noticing it's usually also your background, not even your role in production. like that's funny, because it's one of those things where I have a quote working class background. I have a mostly blue collar background, but that doesn't define my role in production. And my role in production is completely unclear to me, even though I do it. Like, when people have asked me my class, I'm like, I don't know actually where my class fits into this scheme.
No, it's mystery, and right, good. It should be a mystery, because the point, as I said before, the point is that it's a theoretical category. Its power is to describe how it can be that, given all of this variability and all of these, and general freedom, right? These political freedoms that were achieved to us by modern politics, how could it be that there could be these systematic inequities? Even if individuals fall in and out of the pattern, there are nonetheless these forces having to do with the economic structure that are operative and politically relevant. Well, let's call them classes, even though we know that they're not the kind of classes that we were used to refer to. Let's call them classes. Why? Because we can build a political discourse that makes sense around them. So, I mean, up until that political discourse stops making any sense, and it might well stop soon, in which case I'm not going to, socialism might still be struggled for, just on some different kind of terms. But to the extent...
Should I play more?
No, great. I mean, I think, they summarized. I think this was actually a really good part of the video, because one of their main arguments, which is that, we kind of make up our definition of social classes and working class and all this.
It's a theoretical definition.
Yeah, to suit our, our whatever our objectives are, and our
it's a theoretical discourse. It's not like a real thing that exists out there that, okay, you tick these 3 boxes and you're in. You don't get up. Like it doesn't work like that. And
it doesn't mean that it's useless and that there aren't major differences between people's situations, and some that can be grouped as a society level, but still have to bear in mind its limitations.
It's a theoretical. And secondly, and this is not so much from this, but I think it's mentioned in this video as well, but he mentions it in other videos. And I've been watching this man, and I went and looked at, and by the way, it's amazing, in his other videos, not in the interviews, the ones that he explains stuff, he puts all the resources in the description. So
but this conversation is so good, so enjoyable. Highly recommend.
Oh yeah, this was fantastic. And I'll come back to this too. But my point, look, you have to know which definition of class you're talking about. And clearly, Marx didn't have a clear definition of class, or frankly, to be honest, maybe capitalism in a way, or human nature. And so it's kind of, and these two men, they are both, he used to be apparently conservative and comes from a literally sort of a academic background. And Stephen Hamill is more like a musicology type, he's in like aesthetics, Adorno, all that. And I think there's reason, like, it seems a lot of people who come from Marxism through theory, they don't see the inconsistencies, and frankly, just like, it's just that, calm the fuck, it's not fucking religion. And most of them treat it like a religion, like, oh, how Marx said was that this way, and that's the exact, it's really amazing.
And I think
interview and amazing channel.
And anyway, no matter how clearly Marx defined social classes, over 200 years ago, there have been a lot of changes in the Western societies that he's talking about in the sense of the type of jobs that are out there and the professions and all this. So it has led to the creation of more ambiguity, I guess, between the different social classes. So now there are a lot more professor type people, which, you know, makes you think, okay, like, so where do they fit, you know? Or yeah, it's just, and
I mean, there was quite a lot then
yeah,
too. But
no,
I mean,
yeah,
look, I mean, the work that
true.
Marx was writing about, that predictions he made, did not happen. Marxism failed. Marx's predictions failed. You can say, I mean, he was wrong. I'm sorry, but he was wrong. He was completely wrong about many things. The workers of the world did not unite. All right, they turned on each other like rabid dogs. All right, so.
Well, I don't
You
know if
have
they
to
turn against each other, but or if they're turned against each other, because they don't have that kind of power to
So,
turn against each
workers
other.
of the world, workers of the world don't have their own self-will. They don't have any. They're controlled by five
They
people.
do, but their
Oh, you're
abilities are
going for
limited.
Adorno?
No,
Full
but their
Adorno now?
abilities are limited. So yeah,
I agree. No,
their
my
power,
point
their
being,
influence is
pe-
limited.
people, like, even
Mm.
in the idea was probably not just workers. Some socialist utopian would have hoped that even elites would come to see that, oh, it's, you know, good to share our wealth. No, but no, neither the elite nor the working class, nobody saw any benefits in sharing anything with anyone. So it's a reality took place. Now, are there still many cool and insightful things we can use from Marx's writing? Sure, but it's not a fucking religion, you know. Chill the fuck down about, oh, this is not what, or, you know, like, can you imagine RBN people listening to this, like, what? Like, you know, their conception of class is like, you know, pretty much anybody who went to college, you know, like, is PMC. So I'm just saying, you know, chill the fuck down.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But no,
probably
great
the
video.
most informative channel I found recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Anyways,
nice. Anything else?
No, well, no, that's about it, I think.
All right. Good. Nice. Good show. Good show. If anybody has any comments, questions, criticisms, please leave them below. If not, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in our next video. Thank you.